This is The Great Outdoors with Jason White, exploring the great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, The Great Outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White. Welcome to The Great Outdoors. Pleasure to be here with you today. Going to be going over some legislative updates, some upcoming projects, some things that kind of to look on for the horizon, I would say, with the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau and some of the regulations we've been working on and things that are, I would say, even topics of discussion federally that might be under the radar. But before I dive into that stuff, I want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association. You can join the MOA today at marianaoutdoors.com. Currently running a 30% off special. It's the summertime special. Again, marianaoutdoors.com. The Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're interested in any capacity this summer, if you want to come pick flowers, if you're interested in a corporate event, having a party, wedding, so on and so forth, certainly we're happy to have you. 10mileco.org. Give us a call at 724-579-0924. And certainly rolling into, once the summertime passes, if you're interested in this fall in any type of a fishing, trophy trout fishing, a free-range deer hunt, and also a turkey hunt in the following spring, can certainly make that happen. And, before I forget, upland bird hunting as well. Blast and cast packages are available at Wild Acres. And just to confirm, Wild Acres is managed and operated by 10 Mile Creek Outfitters. Everything is free ranging. No fence, no fence, no fence. Again, 10mileco.org, or give us a call at 724-579-0924. And visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. That's another one I wanted to acknowledge. Special thanks to the Washington County Chamber Travel and Tourism Agency. I wanted to go over some upcoming events for the MOA, Mariana Outdoorsman Association. Tuesday, June 10th at 9 o'clock, there will be a Fish and Upland Bird Committee Habitat Development meeting. That is Tuesday, June the 10th at 9 a.m. We'll be meeting down at the 10 Mile Creek Access. So if anybody that is a member is interested or would like to learn more about what we're working on, certainly more than happy to have you. Again, that is Tuesday, June the 10th at 9 a.m. We'll be doing a habitat development meeting. Saturday, June 14th at 9 o'clock, the MOA and AOGA, American Oil and Gas Alliance Golf Outing, which will be at Chippewa Golf Club in Bentleyville, PA. That's a 9 o'clock shotgun start, 4-person scramble. We're more than happy to have you. Information is on our website at marianaoutdoors.com. and also Mariana Outdoorsman at Facebook. And then looking ahead for the later in the year, we'll be firing back up the upland bird stalkings and dove hunting in September. First Saturday in September that opens up. Saturday, September 6th, we'll have another open house and tour. Saturday, September 20th is the Energy Security and Sportsman's Bash. That is at 19 North Event Venue in Washington, PA. We'd certainly love to have everybody in attendance for that. Again, information is at marianaoutdoors.com or Mariana Outdoorsman Association at Facebook. And then looking into the fall, deeper in the fall, we'll be firing back up the trout stalkings in October, and then we'll be doing that monthly all the way into the following May of 2026. So we got a lot of great events coming up, a lot of projects on the horizon, and we would absolutely love to have you involved. Again, marianaoutdoors.com with all this great information. And as always, you can go to our MOA Outdoor channel on YouTube to catch any of these podcasts, podcast radio shows. We have the videos uploaded on YouTube. Also, the podcast is available at Anchor and also Spotify. So if you're somebody that likes to listen to a podcast, you can always re-listen to any of these episodes. They're all available on Anchor and Spotify radio. And once again, marianaoutdoors.com with all this great information. So that being said, I wanted to go over some legislative updates. The Pennsylvania House Game and Fisheries Committee voted yesterday on a bill regarding Sunday hunting and some other things that are, I would say, very, very important to the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, policies that we've advocated for. So I'm really happy about that. The same exact bill, which was originally fostered from the Senate, has not been voted on yet. That is Senate Bill 67. Senate Bill 67 was drafted by Senator Laughlin of Erie County. It is yet to come out of committee. So, as for the civics gurus out there, it's got to pass the Senate and the House and then onto the governor's desk. But currently, there are two completely separate bills. They've been branded as companion bills. I guess we're going to see this summer with the budget process, and I hate to say it, but horse trading is a thing in politics. So we'll see what ends up being traded whenever the dust settles. I don't really know. I'm certainly personally a big proponent of Senate Bill 67. I think it's a really clean, good bill. I had the opportunity myself to speak with Senator Laughlin whenever he was kind of finalizing that the beginning of this year. So it sounds like the issues that existed last year, to my knowledge, were addressed and everything was cleaned up. And just everybody just kind of be patient with it. Hopefully, I don't see any major roadblocks in the way. But then again, I honestly and sincerely thought last year that, it was going to get through the finish line. But politics causes some mischievous things to happen, and sometimes you just got to scratch your head. But as of right now, a bill came out of the Game and Fisheries Committee yesterday, which passed, and that now will move on to the House floor for a floor vote. And in the same token, like I said, Senate Bill 67 is sitting over in the Senate. It has to come out of committee. I expect that to happen sooner than later. And then, ultimately it's got to pass both chambers before it even moves on to the governor. So the next 30 to 60 days should be pretty interesting. I expect all of that to happen rather quickly during the whole budget process. So just stay tuned. Certainly look for the bills on the state's website. Like I said, Senate Bill 67 is really the one that we had a lot of support for, being the Farm Bureau and even myself personally. So we'll see where things go, but that's where it's at right now. Kind of not officially been voted on either floor, but things are moving, and I would say headed in a positive direction. Looking ahead legislatively, I haven't seen, I know there were some other pieces of legislation regarding different topics, from habitat to fence to some other issues with wildlife. That's a whole, I would say, a spider web of, or a spaghetti ball of just problems. I completely and utterly understand why some of the legislature is upset with the Game Commission regarding spending of funds. That's been a humongous topic of discussion. The rainy day fund has grown to, I don't know what the number is today, but the last I'd heard, it was over $550 million. That's ultimately the root of the problem and what's causing a lot of issues. Because when you have that much in your rainy day fund and you're not spending that money, and that money is well beyond 2 years general operating budget expenses, which realistically from past budgets was around $200 million a year. So even with that being said, if it's 400 was the cap on the rainy day fund, we're well above that, like 150 million beyond it. So yeah, there's legislators that are upset because as that money continues to leave the districts, communities, counties, and goes into this account, it's not being put back into the economy, which actually contributes to inflation. And you're basically, I don't know how to say it any other way, but it's almost like you're just sucking off the economy, and you're not putting money back in. So, the legislature's upset about it, rightfully so. But that being said, I think there's the other piece of this that, the things that have been brought up, whether that's habitat at game lands, whether that's investing more into like kids programs and hunter ed type instructions, things, whether you want to talk about fence, whether you want to, and it's all good for the game commission. No matter how you shake a stick at it, it's all positives. So for me, on a personal note, I don't want to speak on behalf of any organization. If the piggy bank's full and we've achieved our financial goals, it seems to me like the surplus should go into the budget, the general operating budget, and we should be on zero-based budgeting. That's my common sense business 101 coming out. And I also say that from the perspective of being an extreme advocate of the outdoors, and I want to see the game commission be successful, but I'm also looking at it from the political perspective, and it's like, I can't understand why we continue down a rabbit hole that opens up for constant attacks when there's not sufficient answers to why we're doing what we're doing. And I think that that's ultimately the issue here. If we would get to a point where we just cap the rainy day fund and we focus more on a zero-based budgeting methodology, I think everybody will be happier, because at that juncture, you're now investing back into these thoughts and ideas. And yes, the game commission can then determine, where the monies need to go. I don't think anybody wants to sit here and tell the game commission how they need to spend their money, but it's the fact that they're not spending it and that it's going into accounts. And then you really have to then ask the questions: what interest is being made on those accounts? The money managers are overseeing them. What kind of monies are they making? Simple running of math. I mean, you're talking astronomical numbers here. From interest being in the tens of millions to, and that's only if it's in like zero risk accounts. If it's in more lucrative accounts where there's opportunity for bigger returns, the numbers could be more. We're waiting to see. I haven't seen all that data yet. I'm interested to see it for sure. And then also like the money managers, whoever's overseeing it, somebody's making a lot of money. A lot of money. Probably more money than a lot of people make in 10 years, is what I'm kind of figuring based on my calculations, but we'll see. Do I think it needs to be a confrontational or a contentious topic? No, I don't. I cannot grasp the idea of a rainy day fund being as astronomically large as it is. It just doesn't make any rational sense to me. Doesn't make any logical business sense or financial or however you want to describe it. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I think we all should talk about. There's nothing wrong with the conversation. Again, I don't want to in any way come at the conversation from the perspective that that anybody or anyone's telling the game commission how to spend their money. I think at the end of the day, people just want to see the game commission spend their money on things that are in the purview of the game commission, which I think is completely a reasonable conversation to have and a completely reasonable thought and idea. And, even when you talk about crop damage, you talk about the culling programs, if we were to talk about data collection, how we're properly collecting and managing wildlife, like this stuff all falls into the purview of financial and business management. So, because every time I've heard anybody even open their mouth about this at all in the past, it's been like, oh, the legislature can't tell the game commission how to spend their money, or, oh, people shouldn't tell the game commission. It's like, I look at it from a different perspective. I'm an avid outdoorsman, sportsman. I'm a businessman. I can read an income and expense report very simply. It's just, the things people are asking to the game commission to do, in my view, are good things. So why there's this contentious attitude or contentious relationship amongst different folks, I've yet to truly understand. Why we would put ourselves into a precarious position to where, people are acknowledging, hey, we need stuff for the children. Hey, with the hunting clubs. Hey, we need habitat at the game lands. Hey, what are we going to do about data collection? It seems like data collection is not where it needs to be. Hey, we need to address crop damage. Hey, what about the idea of fence? There's a lot of topics there, but the point being, like, they're all wildlife oriented. They're all caused by wildlife, or they're all to help wildlife or to help manage wildlife, and that's the purpose of the Game Commission. They're the wildlife management agency. So, for me, looking at potential legislation that has been discussed, some people put out memos, different legislators put out memos that they were going to do different things. Do I think there's potential or opportunity? Yeah, I think some of them are good ideas. You just run the risk right now of, like, I definitely think, like, some people of influence, folks that are, I would say, in the political know of Harrisburg, need to get the leadership of the Game Commission and some of the other folks, stakeholders, and try to come up with amicable solutions, because, if the Game Commission continues to build a rainy day fund that's now almost to 2/3 of $1 billion and does things that are really fiscally not responsible, and are counterproductive to the economy, and are actually pulling money away from sportsmen, I mean, it leads one to start asking questions, and rightfully so. So we'll see. I'll keep everybody posted, because I know that this has been a hot topic as of late, and I just don't see it going away. As long as there's a rainy day fund of that magnitude, and the fact that there's profit margins to where the Game Commission is not spending all of its money on a zero-based budgeting methodology, I don't see any way, shape, or form that things are going to change anytime soon with how things have just been handled. So, I'll keep everybody certainly posted once I hear a little more on that particular subject. It's just, we're not at a point yet where I think the right people have gotten together and tried to, like, amicably come to find some middle ground. But I do think there's hope. But for now, we're not there. But it is good for each and every one of us to be able to have a conversation about it, and to acknowledge it's a concern, it's a problem, and to try to figure out ways that we can get it rectified. So once I know a little bit more on that particular topic, I'll let everybody know. Again, just to reiterate, the Sunday hunting piece of things, with that legislative package, is moving forward. Packages, I should say. And again, it's not just Sunday hunting. I don't want to sell the bill short. It addresses some agricultural representation on the Game Commission, not Farm Bureau, but agriculture as a whole. And also trespass reform to strengthen trespass laws regarding hunting and trapping. And last but not least, a certified hunter program. Excuse me. Which I want to dive into. I would like to thank the Pennsylvania Game Commission and the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. We had 3 events last week. Specifically, I'd like to thank Tyler Strohecker. He's with the Pennsylvania Game Commission. He manages the certified hunter program and the public access. I'm really excited about him as a Game Commission staff person. He's definitely put a positive shining light on what he's doing, and his willingness to listen and talk to people and incorporate new ideas. That to me is extremely intriguing, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. That is by all means a breath of fresh air to have the willingness to communicate back and forth. So really, really excited. I'm excited to see kind of where that heads and goes. with Tyler. But we had our events last week. We had a wildlife reception that we hosted in Connellsville at the Trailside Landing. That was a huge success. We had a full room. It was a great networking opportunity for, farmers, folks in agriculture as a whole, sportsmen. There were elected officials there. People just got to be together, talk, build relationships, and I'm thankful for that. So, if you were there, thanks for coming. If you couldn't make it, I'm sorry, and hopefully you can come next time. The following day, we had 2 events at the Ross Draver Fire Department in Westmoreland County. Those were really well attended as well. Tyler and the Game Commission, along with myself and some others from the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, we were able to talk to the groups of people about existing or pre-existing crop damage and wildlife mitigation programs that exist today. And then we went in and dove into the Certified Hunter program. Something I want to reiterate to everybody. I think it's very important. The Certified Hunter program is just nothing more than a new tool in the toolbox. It's a great way for hunters that truly want to access more land or maybe do not have access today to get more people to access. There was a lot of negativity in years past from, I'm just going to say, bad actors or things that probably shouldn't have happened but happened at different farms, and farmers ended up pulling out of public access. Well, instead of unmanaged floodgates is what I would call it, the new program that now exists, it's very managed. Managed so much that farmers can decide how many people are allowed on their property, when they're allowed on the property, what parts of the property that they can hunt. That's really, truly unprecedented. Heck, even where they're supposed to park their vehicle. That is absolutely an unprecedented program. It's not been managed that way before. I love it. I think that's fantastic. I do not feel that anybody should give up their private property rights, or, even if, you want to open up your land, you shouldn't just lose control of how you wish to manage it. So, again, thankful for the Game Commission, thankful for Tyler Strohecker and his willingness to incorporate new ideas and really be innovative. And I'm super excited because, I think once people understand what this is and understand the why, I really believe you're going to see more and more hunters wanting to do it. I think you're going to see more farmers sign up their properties to register. Now, again, the old programs still exist. Things such as crop damage, to what you're allowed to do within the bounds of the law to protect your own crops. Things such as ag tags, to where you're allowed to give out tags in the summertime to shooters. Those still exist. Deer Management Assistant Program. That is basically your normal hunting seasons and your normal firearms that you're allowed to use. Just some changes with those programs. As I've mentioned before, there used to be, in the past, on the ag tags and DMAP, there was a 4 tag limit, basically per shooter. That has been lifted. So now, like, if you're a farmer or a landowner in general and you're enrolled in either of those programs, and say you have enough land that you have 20 antlerless tags, if 2 people show up and they shoot those deer, that's all you need. You don't have to have a shooter for every 4 tags. So in the past, that was a very cumbersome and inefficient way of doing it. It's now lifted that regulation, changed it for the better. The other thing is the late season DMAP has changed. Again, Deer Management Assistance Program, that is geared at properties that need to be managed for damages by deer. That does not just simply mean your crop has to be out in a field. That could be, say you have property that's timber area and you're having a lot of undergrowth damage by deer. Say you're a situation to where you just have hay fields and they're really being devastating there. It's not just simply scenarios for corn and soybeans, if I can give that analogy. It's for your property as a whole and to manage, the things that you need for your property. So I use Deer Management Assistance Program. I really like it. I'm actually really excited about the change that they made. So like after Christmas, the way it used to be was it was muzzleloader only. So now if you're in a Deer Management Assistance property, you're now allowed to use a high-powered rifle during the late muzzleloader season. I actually really like this. I think it's a lot more of an effective and efficient way to manage the antlerless deer. I'm really excited about it myself because I know last year I had a lot of trouble. I have 20 tags on my one property, and I just had a lot of issues with trying to meet my quota. Just for the 4-person limit, the timeliness and the weather, and you just add it all up. It was just very difficult to get everything achieved in the 2-week rifle season. So I think that change is going to be very helpful for people. Again, that should not impact public land. That should not impact any property that is not enrolled. Those methods and management tactics are on private property that has been enrolled in those programs. So just to be clear, it's not like your game lands are going to be subjected to this or affected. And for that matter, again, if you're not enrolled, if your property is not enrolled, you should not be impacted. And last but not least, ag tags and DMAP are geared at utilizing antlerless tags only. Antlerless tags only. And these are all the numbers are all based on data from the Game Commission, and basically that's how that's all figured out and determined. So we'll see kind of with this new program rolling out as a new addition. Again, a lot of properties were taken off the rolls from public access because things were done, whether people left gates open, too many people on the property at one time, and it's basically almost like a circus, and it creates unsafe conditions, unsafe hunting practices, unsafe shooting practices, people's property getting shot, you name it. Shooting deer and not going and retrieving them, shooting deer, gutting them on the property, and, for whatever, misappropriately handling of carcasses, littering. I mean, the list goes on and on of some of the stories that I've heard over the years with the one public access program. A lot of people don't want to do that, and I understand that. So, like, if you sign up for the crop damage mitigation permit to where you're allowed to basically have 2 shooters for your property, if you sign up for that, you basically have to be in that public access. That's the one that I'm talking about. That's the one that people have had all the, I would say, heartburn and bad experiences with in the past. So hopefully, moving forward, that doesn't rear its head again. I'm really hopeful that the Certified Hunter program is going to make an impact. Now, looking ahead, if you're out there, if you're listening to this and you're interested in either becoming a certified hunter or a certified property, a property that would be open to certified hunters, please reach out to the Game Commission. Tyler Strohecker is the person you're going to want to speak with. You can obviously call any of the Southwest Regional Office. You can call the Harrisburg office, but he's the person that's managing the program. Just let them know that you're interested in enrolling either in the Certified Hunter program to be a hunter, or you're a property that you'd like to get enrolled. Again, for those that are managing their properties, you have a ton of say into how you want to manage your property. So even down to, like I said, where people are to park, the hunters have to have parking passes. They'll actually even have certified hunter hats. So that way you can distinguish who's who. Where they're allowed to park, where they're allowed to hunt, what parts of the property. And you're probably wondering, which I forgot to mention this, you're probably wondering, well, how will people know this? Well, anybody that gets into the Certified Hunter program actually gets a subscription to OnX Hunt app. I actually think that's pretty amazing. So when you go to a property, the details for that property will be shared with you. Tree stand locations, where you're allowed to go, where you're not allowed to go, basically where you're supposed to park, all that good information. So I think that's awesome, because I think in the future, I really truly see I see an opportunity to then expand that OnX Hunt app, which I'm actually working on that right now. Hopefully, we'll see where that goes. But Penn State University is doing some things, some science projects, trying to incorporate technology with wildlife data, and the OnX Hunt app, and the fact that they link trail cameras to that, and then this idea of QR codes with reporting your deer harvest, or for that matter, your wildlife harvest. It's just technology we're not using today. So, like, I'm really excited for the fact that getting technology with OnX into the hands of the hunters, and I think that could be a tremendous building block for the future as we continue to incorporate more technology. Because I really see the better that the technology is, I just think we're going to be able to better manage wildlife. And I don't see that as opinion. I think that's pretty well fact. The better, it's kind of like a math formula. The better information you get in, the better the answer is on the back end. So garbage in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff coming out. So hopefully there's a lot of good that I've seen happening from the legislative side of things. Excuse me. To negotiations with the Game Commission, discussions, conversations about problems and solutions. Even everything that's been really broken down with these different existing crop damage programs, deer management programs, the Certified Hunter program, where we go in the future. I just see a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of conversations that are happening. People are having discussions for once, which I think is wonderful. I said this at the one seminar last week. I said, in the past, I felt like there was like a wall up between the ag community and the Game Commission / hunting community. And I really think, like, I myself and I think the folks in leadership at the Farm Bureau, being a lot of us are hunters and sportsmen, just it was like a personal passion of mine to try to bridge those gaps and to try to open up dialogue and conversation and show people that we're on the same team. We all are on the same team. We just got to address people's concerns. The reason relationships got so sour between different folks within different agencies and different communities was, if we ignore problems and we ignore people's concerns, then sooner or later people are going to react. And by people pulling out of the hunting programs, and even in the past, bucking back about things with the Game Commission, it was fostered because of the unwillingness necessarily to listen and to see problems and to ultimately implement solutions. So the fact that where we are now is a good thing. I do believe we're headed in a good direction. I would like to also thank some of our coalition partners that have worked with us on a lot of these things. There's three that I work with a lot. One is Hunter Nation. Dan Sneath has been my go-to fella here in Pennsylvania. So tip of the cap to Dan. He's a wonderful person and really involved and engaged. And, I thank him for everything he's doing with Hunter Nation and being a huge advocate. Another one is Brian Patel with Safari Club International. He's actually the president of the Pittsburgh chapter. They are ultra committed to like children's education and trying to get the youth involved in the outdoors and utilizing hunting as a method of management of conservation. So, again, another wonderful person to work with. If you're ever interested, please look into either of those organizations, Hunter Nation and Safari Club International. And the last one would be Pennsylvania Federation of Sportsmen and Conservationists. They've also been great to work with. I deal with Mike Kreiner. He's actually their lobbyist. Mike has been great to work with, very open-minded. And again, I thank all those organizations and the folks that I've dealt with and deal with on a regular basis. It's been a good. Those are the guys I get to deal with, I would say, day to day. Really thankful for that. Really appreciative. And there's other ones too. Don't get me wrong. Those are the ones I deal with on a very, very, very regular basis, almost daily. I'm talking to one of them. And so if you never had the chance, look up Hunter Nation on Facebook. Look up Safari Club International. Look up Pennsylvania Federation of Sportsmen and Conservationists. I think all of them are tremendous assets, tremendous allies. Have a conversation with them. That's how I started it. We all have to God gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a mouth, and we all got to be willing to have conversations. Sometimes those conversations are awkward. Sometimes they're super smooth. That's just the way it goes. But I'm really excited for the future, collectively with everybody. Got a lot of great allies, and I think the allies continue to grow day by day. I would also make a note, looking to the future. I don't want to speak out of turn, but State Rep Charity Krupa from Fayette County put out a memo. She's putting forth some legislation regarding permitting reform in Pennsylvania. I'll have more information on this. I had mentioned on I think the last couple episodes. As soon as I have some info on that in detail, I will certainly share with everybody. But that is a monumentally important piece of legislation, because general permits, as I've discussed in the past, are truly the foundation of all permits in the state of Pennsylvania. And the fact that the foundation of the house is so cracked, broken, disfigured, and not efficiently working is why everything else is a mess. And it's just imperative that we right those wrongs, and do whatever we got to do to overcome some of these hurdles. And I don't know. Time will tell. But I'm really excited. Like I said, look at all the positives we've talked about in this episode. Look at look where we are, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to know that all of our efforts have been certainly not in vain, I guess is what I want to say. There's been a lot of people that have put in a lot of charitable and volunteer work to see all of this positive movement come into fruition. And I thank each and every person. I couldn't even sit here and name everybody, whether, the Farm Bureau and all of the staff people, the allies along the way. It's been a very rewarding experience. tiresome, but all good fights are worth a fight. So we're going to keep forging ahead. But for today, I want to end by, again, thanking our sponsors, the Mariana Outdoorsman Association. You can join the MOA today at MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. Wild Acres Farm Fishery and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you're looking to book a hunt, fishing trip, weekend stay, if you're looking to just come pick some flowers, or heck, you want to have a big corporate event, cookout, check us out, 10mileco.org. Give us a call, 724-579-0924. And last but not least, please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. And special thanks to the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, Travel and Tourism Agency. I'm Jason White. This has been The Great Outdoors. I look forward to being back next week as we kind of prepare for the annual MOA golf outing. But for now, enjoy your week. Bye-bye.